Alright, I believe we are recording now too, so we're even doing the thing.
You started on the Audacity already?
Oh no, I don't even have that program open.
Alright, yeah, just making sure.
Nope, don't even have that program open. I updated my Audacity yesterday when we were doing Haunt Hunter stuff.
Yeah.
And man, it literally reset all of my settings yesterday, so I pray to God that our Haunt Hunter stuff turned out good.
I double checked on my end, so.
Not the A,
Alright.
that's for sure. This is usually health and music.
Alright. I am clicking recording in Audacity in 3, 2, 1, record.
Okay.
Now I'm recording in Audacity, and I'm recording in the OBS.
But it's killed that guy with spitballs.
That is good.
We're doing it. We're doing it live, everyone.
We are for sure doing it live.
This is your intro, right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It is.
Just unlimited spit. Found it.
Thank
Cool.
God.
This will get me out of here, alright? At the note to GTFO. It smells like a butt.
Alright, guess I'll do it then.
Yeah, it's
Before we start
all on you right now.
Yeah. Alright. On this episode of This Is Game Boy, what the hell is a Beavis? There we go.
You chose him as the character. I was wondering who
Where do you
you
think you're
were
going?
going to be. I was like, I
Beavis,
bet
get back to detention.
90% chance I'm
Have a
butthead.
note.
I'm always butthead.
Why didn't you say so? Poor boy,
I don't
you
even
said-
know why. I just
Very
that was the
helpful.
first image I picked, so I was like, I don't want to do more.
Mhm.
Well, he's even wearing a Metallica shirt, and I don't even like Metallica, so I don't even know why.
Oh my God! Looking for a new podcast
This
host.
is a soda, right?
I guess I yeah. All right. I guess I dominantly play as Butthead in the Super Nintendo version. So,
Sure.
well, you can swap between the two,
4 spitballs kills him.
and by default, Butthead is the first one you play as. And I just
Oh.
never swap between because there's no difference between the two. So I just stay as Butthead. It's easier.
True. True. Alright, let's get
Coffee
this
mug or what?
party started. Because like I said, 100 episode.
Episode
Ooh.
100.
Whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
Approaching year number 4 of the podcast.
Also true. Yeah. Which also means year 4 of paying bills. Hooray!
Yeah, I love paying
That goes
bills.
down.
The best part of everything.
Oh, I love paying subscription bills.
Yeah. Alright, so let's get this on the road.
Bitch.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to a brand new episode of This Is Game Boy. A full episode after 3 light episodes, which were due to some scheduling issues and some sickness in between. It happens. It happens. But yeah, so it's me, Mula, again, and of course, my co-host, eBloodyCandy.
Hello.
Yes, hello indeed. So for the people who are watching this live or watching the video on YouTube later on, you can see that we have been replaced with some very high-tech VTube avatars that we literally made in 2 seconds. Yeah, we're gonna have some fun here for the Beavis and Butthead episode, and also this is episode 100 in total, so including lights and normal episodes. Getting close to episode 50 for the real episodes, I guess, and we already passed 50 when it comes to lights. But yeah, welcome everybody to the 100 episode. Lex, just, I know you've done this before, put in some fireworks, some women screaming from the top of their lungs like they are seeing the
concert goers.
the resurgence of the Beatles or something like that, and also one bark of a dog, just one.
Rude.
That's everything.
Yeah, no, I don't. Just one bark.
Yeah,
Well, if it
one
is a
part.
Beavis,
So.
since you didn't bother turning up to class.
So all right, let's
Okay,
start off this new episode here. Also, hi everybody who's watching in the chat. Well, not watching the chat, but watching us, and we are watching the chat.
Hello, RGL chat.
Yes, hello. Hope you're all doing well. So, like always, let's start off with what we've been up to. And as I literally recorded the previous light episode like 2 days ago or 3 days ago, I don't even remember. I don't have that many games to list up, so I'll just go over them real quickly. And one is even that we played with the both of us. So yeah, I'm still playing Pokemon Black 2. I'm right at the. I always want to say the Fantastic Four. I don't know why. The Elite Four. That's it. So I'm still the Elite. Yeah, the Elite Four. Yeah, but I always want to say Fantastic Four. So yeah, I'm just training up my team before I head there. I think they need to be around level 60 to make it like a good chance or something like that. And I might do some post-game stuff, but I'm almost done with it, which will be my 500th portable pleasure game. And then it's back to regular Game Boy, of course. I've also been playing a little bit so far of Unmetal, which is a parody on the old Metal Gear games, the MSX ones or even the NES ones. I'm really enjoying that game. It has like the most dumb jokes that you can ever imagine, so that's right up my alley.
Definitely does.
Yeah. Yeah, like I don't even want to spoil anything from that game if you are if you are interested in playing it yourself, because it's really fun. The gameplay itself is also really well done. But yeah, it's just a parody game, and it shows because it's full of dumb jokes, like completely full of dumb jokes. So yeah, that's everything. And then me and EBC here played some Fishing Vacation yesterday.
We did.
For recording for our Hunters YouTube Let's Play show. That was fun.
That was a good time.
Yeah, and I completed it today because I still needed 2 achievements.
Because you're a completionist.
Yeah. It was easy to do. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have been playing. So let's see what you have been up to, because that's a longer list than mine.
Yeah. So like, I didn't give an update in my light when I did Sam Mallard, because I was assuming we're gonna do this a little bit closer to the Sam Mallard light. So it is what it is, right? Apparently my Twitch chat just stopped connecting. So yeah, I've been playing. We'll just go down the list because it's a lot of games. We played Neighbor, which is a Game Boy horror homebrew, which just recently got bug fixed. So there was a big issue in Chapter 4 where you couldn't where you could complete a puzzle, but it wouldn't save. So when you needed to go back, things just didn't work out, so you kind of had to reset the game and move yourself forward a chapter to continue the game. That is all fixed now. So
those are nachos, so I was right.
It's a really, really cool game. It starts out really strong. It kind of gets kind of meh, but it ends really strong as well too. Highly recommend it. It's free on itch.io. So I played Beavis and Butthead Super Nintendo before. A month before this podcast episode now. It's Beavis and Butthead for the Super Nintendo might be one of my personal top 10 games. I don't know why. It's just I like Beavis and Butthead, even though the game isn't all that great. It's just one of my personal top 10s because I can go and play it and beat it in 45 minutes and call it a day. I did WWF Super WrestleMania and WWF WrestleMania the arcade game for some long play recordings.
I really don't want to play Dodge.
WrestleMania, the arcade game, is like it's like a Mortal Kombat type game where like they basically use the Mortal Kombat engine for like the characters and put it into it's not very good. It kind of sucks, but you know, for what it is, for the time, and if you were a big wrestling fan, you actually had some options to choose from. Like you actually had Shawn Michaels and Razor Ramon and Undertaker and whatnot to choose from. So if you were a wrestling fan in the early '90s, then it's not bad. But Shaq Fu for the Game Boy. I did a long play for Shaq Fu Game Boy, which by probably the best Game Boy game to ever exist.
Ape shit.
Weird to name it a long play, but sure.
Yeah, my 5-minute long play of Shaq Fu Game Boy.
Long play.
Still trying to get it into GDQ. But fun fact,
I do know this
Shaq Fu's Super Nintendo is going to be on GDQ Hotfix tomorrow night at like 7 p.m. Central Time. And me, Gooby, and I forgot the Genesis runner are all going to be commentating Shaq Fu Super Nintendo.
No, we got stuff.
It's going to be a good time. We're going to have 3 different Shaq runners commentating a Super Nintendo game.
Report cards. Tell the principal.
It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, but for anybody listening to the episode later on, that's
you're go watch the highlight on YouTube. There'll be plenty of Shaq facts. So, but I played Melanie in the Magical Forest, which is another free game on itch.io. It's a Game Boy Color homebrew. Phenomenal little homebrew. It's really short, but it's super cute, and it has you can unlock cutscenes for the ending. There's like 8 or 9 different cutscenes that you can unlock that extends the ending to the game. Super cute, super fun game. Highly recommend it. itch.io has been a saving grace recently. Then I played Sam Mallard in The Case of the Missing Swan. This is probably, out of all of the itch.io games I have played, this is number 1 on the list. This is a noir, detective-style, point-and-click adventure game for the Game Boy. And I actually showcased this on Retrothon this year because we needed a fill-in time. This game is absolutely phenomenal. The writing in it is so good. And the game actually came at the homebrew actually came as a ZX Spectrum game first, so one of those type deals, but then they ported it to the Game Boy, and damn did they do a good job with it. So so far, so and good. I think it's either the composer or the developer of Sam Mallard in The Case of the Missing Swan also did I think the game's called like Dagnan or something like that. It's a bullet hell game that they released for the 30th anniversary for the Game Boy. And that game is actually really good. Super hard, but it's really good as well. Then I played Possum Country, which is a horror homebrew for the Game Boy on itch.io as well. This game is nuts. If you've ever played Far Cry 5 or know anything about Waco, Possum Country is like that vibe right there. Where it's like this little like trailer park in the middle of nowhere, and they're basically like following like this religious cult essentially, and you kind of just butt your nose into the wrong business and things go sour real quick. It's such a well-written, cool game. It's short, it's free, highly recommend checking it out. The guy that created Possum Country just released another game similar to Possum Country literally 5 hours ago, and I am stoked to play that after the podcast recording. So, what else? I did Fishing Vacation with you yesterday. Yeah. Obviously a ton of WoW Classic TBC because Phase 5, the Sunwell raid, had just came out. So I've been pouring a lot of my life into WoW Classic again because the final phase of the Burning Crusades came out, and I'm basically slowly getting ready for Wrath of the Lich King Classic, since that was announced as well. I've also been playing a lot of V Rising. Very new game. If you don't know what V Rising is, it's a isometric survival game where you play as a vampire, build castle, suck blood, etc., etc. Been playing a lot of that recently too.
Yeah, I've seen articles about that it's super popular.
It's fun. It's a very fun game.
I looked at it and I was like, yeah, no, that's not for me.
Yeah,
totally not for me.
I like building survival games. I love Minecraft, and this might be one of my favorite games. But
right. Yeah, I'll just stick to Vampire Survivors, a game where you just have to use the stick and that's it.
Dude, that game is awesome. I don't know what you mean. That game
amazing.
is sweet.
I love it.
And I played. I haven't finished it yet. I've beaten Alwa's Awakening before, but I haven't finished. I recently got the physical cartridge for the NES, and I popped that in and started playing it. I haven't finished it yet because I just kind of was poking around with it, but I've been progressing through the Alwa's Awakening NES relaunch. So.
Yeah, I'm waiting on it. Like, apparently America got their copies first, which is super weird because it's a Swedish
company.
Yeah, so Sweden has it and America has it, and I still don't have. I hope nothing went wrong because I would be very upset if I don't get my physical copy. But yeah,
and then
I think it will only come next month. If I can believe what Gran and Hero said, so I hope it does.
Yeah. Oh, I played the new. I don't know if I even said this on a live. I played and beat the new Kirby game. By the way, go get the new Kirby game. Just go get it. It's so good. Finally, a good Kirby game instead of that Star Allies bullshit. So we finally got a good Kirby game on the Switch. And I still haven't played Alwa's Legacy, and I've had it on my Switch since launch, so...
Okay, wow.
I'm so backed up. There's so many games.
True.
There's so many. I've done a lot more long plays, like Super Mario Land, and... Oh, I did Tempo Junior for the Game Gear. If you want to play a good Game Gear game... I don't say this often on this podcast or in life in general. If you want to play a good Sega Game Gear game, go play Tempo Junior on the Game Gear. Short, cute, hella good. So
pick up 10 balls, or we'll make you target practice.
Unlike Sonic, most boring games known to man. Sorry if you're a Sonic fan, but their games are boring.
Balls on that pick up. Oh yeah, there's one right there.
They are. I tried playing Sonic 1 the other day, about fell asleep in Green Zone, or wherever the hell this zone is, because the first zone is called.
Yeah, Green Hill Zone, yeah.
Like, this game is boring. How did this contend with Mario? I don't even like Mario either, but...
I see. So, like, some of the stuff only spawns
oh boy.
Trigger.
That's about what I've been up to. I want to scan stuff for legs, but, like, my scanner's broken, and she doesn't accept any of my manuals anyway, so I just stopped scanning stuff for her.
This is where we go.
He's gonna be happy to hear that.
I've already told her. She claims that she's making a bot, but we'll see.
Yeah, I don't know.
Seems like hocus pocus at this point. But yeah, that's about all I've been up to. I've been up to a lot. Just a lot. That's a big reason. I checked out my stream stats the other day. And like an atypical month for me streaming is about 20 days out of the from the previous 30 days, it's about 20 out of the 30 days I stream. This last streaming month, like the last 30 days, I have streamed 5 days.
Right.
I've been so busy.
Yeah, I haven't really streamed that much either.
5 tennis balls.
But I should have some time this month to stream some more, so that's good.
True, yeah. I was supposed to have all the time in the world this weekend since it's Memorial Day weekend for us here in the States. But I slept all day Friday because that was my. I saw the new Top Gun movie. By the way, go watch the new Top Gun movie if you haven't. Hella good. Then I went and took like an 8-hour nap. And then yesterday we recorded, and then after we got done recording, I cooked dinner, and I ate too much and fell asleep, so...
Wow. Awesome.
I'm sorry, Max Oakland, I didn't play your game yet. I'll play it tonight. So, hopefully, after recording today, I can get some streaming in.
Hopefully, yeah.
Alright, well, that's all I gotta say. I'm done rambling.
Sure. Go watch it. I don't know. I haven't seen the movie.
Go watch the new Top Gun movie. Hero said the new Chippendale movie is pretty good too. So.
Right. Yeah. So yes, go watch the movie. Also, go listen to our Top Gun episode. Because that's a crazy one to listen to.
I forgot we did an episode on Top Gun Game Boy. Oh my god.
That is an episode.
That's right. We did the episode because Top Gun 2 was coming out, and then COVID hit, and it got postponed for 2 years.
Yeah.
That's right. Boy. I forgot about that.
So go watch the movie and then listen, or the other way around. Listen to the episode, not watch the movie, I guess.
Listen to the episode while watching the movie. Just who cares who's in the theater? They can listen too.
True.
Oh, I forgot we did that one. Oh my god, that game. That game sucks so bad.
It does, yeah. But the episode was fun.
It was fun. There's a lot of singing in that episode.
A whole lot of singing. Okay, alright, so that about wraps up our little intro part here. So we will be diving into the episode that everybody who's watching has been seeing on screen so far. A not that well-known game, to be perfectly honest. But yeah, we'll see what it's all about right after this break song coming right up.
We had a dumpster, apparently.
Oh, I don't even have our... I don't want that Zofer open.
I am still missing a tennis
ball. No, our break music.
No.
This bud doesn't have all that much music, though.
My flowers, my
not
beautiful
this version
flowers.
No.
What?
Oh, he's angry.
Am I blind? There we go. The answer to that question was yes, so. Excuse me. Beavis and Bethede. Beavis and Butthead isn't even on the Zofer site.
Cool. Alright.
Well.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
Well.
Oh god, not like this.
Know what that means? I mean, some weirdo out there has done it on YouTube, which, yep, I am correct, so.
Perfect.
Alright. Oh, I even got the full soundtrack right here. Hell yeah.
I'm still missing a tennis ball.
God, the Game Boy version of the theme is not good.
Yeah.
Just listening to it now. Alright. That's enough of that theme song.
Sure.
Dude, did you know that levels 1... No, we'll talk about that later. Today I learned something new. All right. Let's see. Oh. It is what we look like. It's not too far off. All right, you ready to move forward? Press on.
Yep.
All right. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed that Beavis Butthead rendition or theme rendition by Justin Mueller. Is it Mueller? Mueller? I don't know how to do the graves over the eye.
Muir?
Muir?
I don't know.
I think it's Muir. Whatever.
Muir.
Yeah. So Beavis Butthead Game Boy. Beavis and Butthead actually has a pretty storied life as a video game. There's a ton of them out there, but
yeah,
we're only going to talk about the Game Boy version. So Europe got this game in 1998. You guys got it before us. Europe got this game in 1998, and America got this in 1999, which is bizarre because this is an American cartoon made by Mike Judge. And very popular in the States. Developed by Taurus Games and published by GT Interactive, which I believe now is Atari Inc., ain't it? Yeah.
Yeah, because Atari just buys everything, of course. But yeah, GT Interactive is probably most well known because they were the people who released at least Doom and Doom 2.
Yep.
And just looking at the wiki, those two games made their revenue growth go up by 880%, which is crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Just because of those two games. But yeah, later on, it got merged into the complete Atari brand nowadays, which is just Atari Inc. But yeah, GT Interactive was basically a division of Good Times Home Video, which is a videotape distributor. So I guess not a store, but just they put out videos, they made videos, VHS tapes, I don't know. Yeah. No. Yeah, they're quote-unquote still around, but they just don't exist as themselves anymore.
Taurus.
Nowadays, if you see Atari SA, that's basically GT Interactive.
Yep. Taurus Games is still somewhat around. Looks like their most recent game was in 2018, called Hotel Transylvania 3: Monsters Overboard for the PS4. So.
Yeah, it looks like they do a lot of cartoon video games, like. I see Ben 10 here, Paw Patrol, some Cartoon Network Battle Crashers, which I presume is like a Smash Brothers ripoff, Barbie stuff, Monsters. Yeah, it's just always cartoon based video games.
Oh, they did Duke Nukem Advance. That Duke Nukem on Game Boy Advance is pretty damn good. I don't know. I enjoyed it. Oh, they did Dragonheart for the Game Boy. It's a very good game. College Slam. That's actually a super good game. That's like NBA Jam but with college basketball teams. They did stuff for the Engage. Good for them. I'm glad no one ever played that. So.
Yeah, Lex will be happy because they did Dragonheart.
Yeah. And then this game was composed by Justin Mueller.
Muir. I have no idea.
I don't know either, but he is credited for Duke Nukem 1999, which PlayStation? Game Boy Color.
The Game Boy Color.
Game Boy Color, Duke Nukem, Beavis Butthead, The Lost World, Jurassic Park, and Tony Hawk's Project 8 in 2006. He did True Lies. Oh my god. Oh
That's
my
right. I knew that the name sounded
god.
familiar. Yeah.
Yeah, True Lies. Now that's a video game. Yeah. Cool that we actually got a composer name though. I would have never expected to get a composer name from this game, so
Oh, but he did the art and the graphics though.
that's fine.
So not the audio for True Lies.
Still a part of the True Lies team.
Yep.
Genre is this is a top. Oddly enough, this is a top-down adventure game with a hint of platforming.
Yeah, with one stage that is platforming. If you can call it platforming.
Well, I call it platforming because you gotta jump to platforms.
True. But let's just say that was more of an afterthought, I believe, for this game. But most of the time, it's just a top-down adventure game, basically.
Yeah. It's what's interesting about this game already is that so Viacom owns all this stuff. Viacom's the big umbrella company that owns MTV and all that stuff, right? So
Right.
the SNES version and I believe the Genesis version of this was developed by Real Time Associates, who did Real Monsters and stuff like that for the SNES, and it was published by Viacom. But in the Game Gear, so all three of those were released first. So the Genesis, SNES, and Game Gear were all released first. That's why they're all pretty much the same game, where they're basically just side scroller type S games. But the Game Boy one came out fourth, and it was the final entry, and it had completely different developers and publisher.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of interesting how that took fold.
Yeah, perhaps because the other ones were not really that popular. Well,
I wouldn't say
this one too, but they probably sold a lot because of their name. But
yeah.
I mean, when it comes to people actually liking to play those games, I never hear too much good about them. So
the other thing too is that the other three games adhered to the exact same story, right? Beavis and Butthead Beavis and Butthead needed to get to the Gwar concert.
right.
That was the story. It's we lost our tickets. We need to go find them and go to the Gwar concert.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not the case for the Game Boy one at all. The Game Boy one's a whole different story.
Yeah, let's dive into that story because it's actually really short. When looking at the manual, that's the word I was looking for. So Beavis and Butthead have always wanted to join Todd's gang, and now's their chance. If they can just bust Todd out of jail, he'll be so impressed he'll have to let him join. All Beavis and Butthead have to do is sneak out of school, outrun the vicious dogs and rabid squirrels, run through the sewer, sneak past Todd's thugs, kill a bunch of cockroaches. Oh, this is going to be harder than I thought. There you go. That's the story.
Oh, I thought there was more after the thought.
Nope, that's literally it.
I like how they included killing cockroaches in there, since you do that for about 30 seconds in the game.
Yes.
It's good. Glad they added that in. Gameplay for this game. Oddly enough, the gameplay is fun and the controls are actually reactive, unlike the other three Beavis and Butthead games on console.
Right.
D-pad lets you move around. The A button uses your selected item. And then the B weapon is your weapon. So when we say selected item, you have nachos and adult magazines, coffee, etc. And you have a weapon you have spitballs and tomatoes and stuff like that. So
yeah.
Going into the items now. Well, select goes into your inventory screen, which is a little bit confusing the first time you navigate through it, but once you figure it out, it's pretty self-explanatory. Going into the items. So just like in every Beavis and Butthead game for the systems, soda and food is your health up. Is how you're gonna get health in the game. Drinking a soda grants you 4 health points. Eating nachos grants you 8 health points. So sodas you use as soon as you touch them. Nachos is a on-use item that grants you 8 health points, and you actually get a lot of nachos early on in the game, so I recommend getting as many as you can. Especially for the sewer stages, because the sewer stages are hell on earth.
Yeah. I believe you can only take 5 or 6. Like, they are limited. You can't, like, have 999 of them.
Yeah. They are limited, yep. Because there's only a limited amount of space in your inventory, so.
Oh, yeah, they count as separate entries, right?
Yep.
I was thinking they stacked, but yeah, it's a Resident Evil type of an inventory.
It is, yep. And then you have TVs, which are extra lives, so just almost like in the regular games. I believe it's a Beavis head or a Butthead head, depending on who you're playing.
Right.
In the bigger systems. The adult magazines is hyper mode for Butthead, which makes him run faster, and I believe it makes him immune to damage as well, right?
Yes.
Yes. Coffee is hyper mode or cornholio for Beavis, which then Beavis puts his shirt over his head and his arms up, and he runs around the cornholio at hyper speed and takes no damage at all. Then your first weapon and your main weapon you'll get in the game is your spitball. You get that almost, I think, in screen 2 of the game when you're adventuring through the school, which is the first stage of the game. The spitball is pretty handy. Most of the time you can get through. Most of the time you can get through everything without having a spitball, but every once in a while a janitor or a nerd will get in the way, and you gotta spitball them. So. Tomatoes you get pretty later on in the game. They're a limited. They're actually a limited use as well. The spitballs are unlimited use, so apparently you just have unlimited amount of paper in your pocket. But the tomatoes, I believe, are limited use, and honestly, you're better off just using spitballs.
Yeah, you could easily miss them as well if you're not really exploring. So it doesn't do more damage or anything like that. It's just another weapon.
Yep, it's just another range weapon. You get bones, so you have these bones that you mostly collect in the park, which is the second stage of the game, essentially. Second, third, whatever stage. We'll get there in a second.
Fourth stage, probably.
We'll get there in a minute. You get these bones that act as an on-use item. You actually don't have to use them. You just have to have them equipped. So what happens is that there's some dogs that will run around. If they touch you, it eats, I think, like a third or half of the bone. So as long as you have a bone equipped, you'll be fine. Coins. These are a necessity. So there's quarters laying around all over the place in the game, and you get your first quarter in the schoolyard. Collect every quarter you see, because you need like $2 by the final stage to get to proceed. And some of these quarters are harder than hell to find. So if you find a quarter, pick it up.
Yeah, you can collect more than $2 in total for sure, but not that much. I think maybe 3 is the max that you can get. And these coins are also needed. Well, not needed, but you can use them for something else as well.
Yes.
We will get back to that as well later on.
Yep. So as we get into the game, we're right away. So it's already right away different than other games. When you play the other games, you play as Beavis and or Butthead, and they're both on the screen generally at the same time, unless you're playing the Game Gear version. Then I think only one is up at a time. But regardless, you can swap between the two characters. This game is nothing like that, as you don't swap between characters. The characters change depending on what level you are playing.
Yeah.
So right away you start off in detention. Butthead is at home watching MTV. He's watching all the music videos on MTV back when MTV was good. And Beavis is stuck in detention. So as you get into detention, the first thing you're going to see and you're gonna get is spitballs. They're optional for you to pick up, but just pick them up anyway. They'll help you in the long run.
Yeah.
The next thing you want to do is that there's this loner kid sitting in the back corner. You want to approach him. He's going to tell you to get away. You're gonna back up and you're gonna approach him again. He's gonna be like, okay, there's a sick note in my locker. Go get it and leave me alone. Okay. So now we gotta go out of the classroom. There's 4 trillion lockers because, well, you're in high school. This note can be in any open locker. It's not a static locker that this note is from. This note can be in any open locker. So the first locker you go into, you may or may not get the note. So you have to check every locker until you get this note. And you can't proceed into the teacher's lounge without said note. So you do have to check every locker until you get one.
They are in your way, though, so
Yes.
you will come across them. They're not hidden in like some obscure room or hallway. They are all in your way to the teacher's lounge. So just check them all.
Yep, and they're very visible if they're open or not. You don't need to have any combinations or anything like that. So once you get your note, you need to go to the teacher's lounge. Once you get to the teacher's lounge, you need to get the TV remote. I'm trying to remember the dude's name. I can't remember the counselor's name. First name is David. David Van Driesen. Yeah, there it is. I remember his first name. I can't remember his last name. So in the teacher's lounge, you're gonna come across David. If you never watched Beavis and Butthead, David is this like hippie, happy-go, he's a hippie. So you want to get the TV remote and turn on the TV. David has apparently never watched TV a day in his life. So he's gonna be like, oh, look at all these pretty colors and watch TV. So he's out of your way forever.
Yes, I'm sure. I'm sure that's the reason why he's pulled onto the TV with the pretty colors.
He's never watched TV and is like, this is
family
friendly.
Oh boy.
So after you show him that the TV has color, because it's 1998, you have to progress through. So then you enter the cafeteria, and it's just a bunch of from here on out. There's just a bunch of janitors in the way. This is where your spitballs come in handy. I think it's like 3 or 4 spitballs, quote unquote, kills on a janitor. So just spitball the janitors out of the way, otherwise they hit you, and there's no iframes in this game. So if something gets inside of you, you're just gonna get chunked for a bunch of health. Yeah. That's probably one of the biggest downfalls of this game, which we'll talk about more in the sewer level. But as you progress through that, you're gonna go into Principal Skinner's office, and he's gonna be like, "Hey, I need the grade sheet." Cool. Well, you gotta go back to the teacher's lounge.
Yeah.
So this game goes in like a sequential order thing. So once you do one thing, the next thing unlocks. You can't really do things out of order. The only thing you can really do out of order is like collect stuff. So like collecting the quarters and collecting the tennis balls and collecting the crowbar, things like that. You can do things like that out of order, but you can't do the actual like actions to use them out of order. So once you go talk to Principal Skinner, he's gonna be like, go get me the grade sheet from the teacher's lounge. Okay, so you go and go back to the teacher's lounge, which, by the way, the janitors have all respawned. So get your spitballs ready. And go get your grade sheet from the teacher's lounge. And then go back to Principal Skinner. Principal Skinner's going to be like, hey, thank you. But in this room also there's some cans of soda, so if you're taking some damage, go refresh. The next crappy part is you're going into the gym. So you want to dodge the PT teacher. The physical education teacher is a former Marine. And if he catches you, he's going to force you to play dodgeball. And although dodgeball is a very easy game to play in this, because you just have to dodge the ball, it takes forever to play. And if you actually do get hit, it does take health off of you. So, and he's actually kind of hard to avoid, because he's actually kind of fast. But once you dodge all of that at all, then you move on to essentially stage 2, which is the schoolyard.
Yep. So yeah, schoolyard. The only way to get out somehow is through the sewers, because apparently this school has no gate you can just walk out of. But in order to reach that, you will first have to go through the tennis court, and the tennis players won't let you pass unless you collect 10 balls, I believe. From throughout the entire schoolyard, which is a very, very big area, to be honest.
It's not small.
You're going around the parking lot. You're going around like not a park, but a garden and things like that. Looking for all these tennis balls. You may come across some of what's his face's goons.
Todd's.
Yeah, Todd's goons while searching for these balls. And eventually you'll also come across, and I don't know the name of this guy either, but it's the gardener from the school, I guess. Is it the gardener from the school? Or is he just a random gardener in general? I don't know.
I don't remember.
Yeah, anyways, he's some kind of gardener, and one of the items you need is apparently in his yard, or in his flower field. But once you get in there, he's gonna come after you, so you have to dodge him.
I think they're trying to depict Tom Anderson, who, if you don't know, is the same voice as the guy from King of the Hill.
Right.
But they didn't do a very good job depicting him.
Yeah, I don't know. I recognize the character, but I have no idea what his name or whatever is. But yeah, anyways, while looking for these tennis balls, you will probably also pick up a crowbar, which is around that area where that gardener is. And then you can start heading back towards the tennis court. So yeah, once you get to that tennis court, you give the balls, you're free to pass, and then you come across a manhole. And if you didn't pick up that crowbar, the game will let you know that you actually need a crowbar to go down into the sewers. So you can go all the way back if you missed that one. So, but it's so much in the way that it's practically impossible to miss it. It's actually easier to miss some of the tennis balls while looking for them than it is to miss the crowbar. But yeah, if you have it, you're done with stage 2 basically, which is the schoolyard, and then you go down into a completely different section than the rest of the game, the sewers.
Yeah, the sewers. Oh man, what a shocker it was to go from top-down adventuring to platforming almost immediately. So the sewers, your biggest dangers are the rodents in the sewers. So I think they're supposed to be spiders, but they look like ants. And the mice. And by the way, these mice are huge. Like, they definitely took some GMOs in their life. So the mice aren't awful because you can jump on top of a mouse and Goomba stomp it essentially and take it out. Although the hitbox is a little weird on it. But the spiders you can't Goomba stomp at all. You just kind of have to like time it and go through them and kind of hope for the best. The other dangers in this one too are the pitfalls. So if you fall into the sewer water, Beavis says, "Hey, I'm stuck," and then you lose a life. It's that simple. So, as you go through these sewers, this is probably where the controls are the most awful in the game, because you can't really tell how far Beavis can jump right away. And sometimes you'll jump and Beavis will not make the jump and will just, fall into the pit. So, what you gotta do is you gotta go through these doors, and there's various doors throughout the way, and it's kind of like a quote-unquote maze, like where do I go? But it's not really. Basically, the first door that you see, you walk into and just go through it. Along the way, you need to climb the ladders, which ladders open you up to attack, because typically there is a spider on the ladder. If you blind jump, chances are you're just going to fall into a pit and die. Jumping onto a ladder is possible, and it has to be done for the final room of the sewer. So you have to jump onto a ladder that's over a pit. So hope that your bad control fingers are ready for that. So, because if you fall into a pit at any point, or if you die at any point in the stage, you have to go back to the start of that screen. There are no checkpoints in the sewers. So, once you get through all of that, you're still playing as Beavis, by the way. So this whole time you've been playing as Beavis. So as you get through the sewers and get your nachos and get your soda that you apparently dare to drink and eat, you get out of the sewers, and now you play as Butthead going into the park.
Yeah. Something I can maybe add to like the difference between the top-down parts and then like the platforming part. Just imagine that you're playing Link's Awakening, where you're basically playing on a grid-based game. So it works top-down and it works in the small platforming sections in that game, like those little basement thingies, because you only have a character that's basically one square of that grid, so it really works in both regards. With this game, you work with like 2.5 grids based characters or something like that, but the platforming still uses the same engine than the top-down part does, so it feels just really awkward to play this platformer. It just doesn't work that well because of that. Like, if they would have made a completely different engine for it, like other games probably do, trying to think of one that switches genres halfway in between, but I can't really come up with any right now. Maybe like Last Action Hero, where one stage is a platformer and the other one is a driving stage. Like it's a completely different, way it's a completely different play style, but it's also a completely different
Contra.
way that you have to play it. Contra, is one of them with the top-down levels and the normal platforming levels. But yeah, this is all in the same engine, and the platforming part sadly doesn't work that well. But it's the only platforming part in this game, so at least you're true with that. But yeah, once you come out of the sewer, suddenly we're buttheads, and we have to get through the park, which is kind of a hatch maze, but there's not that much mazy about it. It's just a pretty long trek throughout it. Try to avoid some dogs here and there, but if you have the bones, that will of course help you out. And there's also a lot of squirrels, and those squirrels are really, really annoying because they look small, but their hitbox is really weird, so you're gonna keep...
Not as annoying as the birds.
Oh yeah, there's also birds. True, I almost forgot about that. But yeah, it's these small animals that feel like you should be able to avoid them easily, but it's way harder than it should be. But there's enough sodas and even extra lives hidden throughout the park. If you go the wrong way, usually you end up with a refill or an extra life. So it's a good thing to explore it a little bit, but it's not like super hard to get through or anything. It's usually you have two ways. One is the right way, and the other one is leading you to a quote unquote power up. So yeah, eventually you'll get through the park. Probably the most boring, straightforward part of the game, I would say, because you can't really explore. You just have to go from point A to point B.
That's fair. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah. So yeah, once you get out of the park, you end up in the village. Dude, is there a name for the village where they live or the town where they live? I don't know. But either way, you end up in the streets and on your way to Burger World.
Burgie World. Yeah, they live in Highland.
Okay.
Which I've never been to. I've never been to Highland because it's obviously fake, but like typically like when cartoonists make towns like this, they depict them kind of after like real life ish towns, right?
Mm-hmm.
But apparently rumor has it that this town it takes place of a town close to the border of Texas and New Mexico, which
Okay.
I guess kind of makes sense if you ever watched the movie. But which, by the way, Beavis Bud Do America, good movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we're in the streets and going into Burger World. Oh boy, Burger World. So the streets, you don't really care about them at all right now. Like I said, you want to collect your quarters when you see them. But as for the streets, you're kind of going through people's backyards, and apparently Highland is just a dump. Because everyone's backyards has loose tires, broken down cars, broken TVs. It's just like it's a dump.
Yeah.
But you navigate through people's backyards, and your biggest danger this entire time isn't the women, isn't the guys, it's the birds. The birds are your biggest enemy in this whole section because you can spawn into a screen and just take immediate damage from a bird. And the birds dive bomb you if they see you. So, as you go through, you'll collect this is where you collect your magazines. This is where you collect your soda cans and stuff like that. And your apples if you want to use apples as your weapon. But this is pretty much go through backyards and get to Burger Town. Or Burger World, rather. Sorry, not Burger Town. Burger World, which is where Beavis Bud work. They somehow have jobs. But along the way, too, you're going to have a bunch of people, a bunch of skateboarder kids, too, that you want to watch out for. Tony Hawk was very popular in Highland, apparently, so there's a bunch of skateboarders that you need to dodge, birds that you need to dodge, and a bunch of backyards you need to navigate. Some of the backyards lead to a dead end, but I would still recommend entering them because there's usually soda cans in them, or a 1-up, or a magazine that you'll just want. Once you leave the streets, you get a password, then you go into, I guess, more streets.
Yup.
It's more streets, but it's not really streets, so to speak. There's a bunch of people from Todd's gang on the street wanting to beat up Butthead because they're playing as Butthead right now. Basically here is just you just walking straight to Burger World. There's no stopping at all. Like you literally spawn like right above Burger World, but Todd's gang is just there waiting for you, for no reason whatsoever. So once you go into Burger World, this is where you do the cockroach game that the manual wanted to really point out. So once you go into Burger World, your manager's like, "Hey, it's about time you two got here." And Beavis hasn't showered since he's been in the sewer, so he smells bad. And Burger World's under a cockroach infestation and has Beavis go through and crush all the cockroaches. You need to crush 30 cockroaches in a certain amount of time. And there's no time gauge on the screen. Your time gauge is your health bar. So if you go into the restaurant with low health to crush cockroaches, you're going to die right away. And you're going to lose a hit point, or you're going to lose a life. So you want to try and go into Burger World with full health. As you're crushing cockroaches, it's being fumigated, so it's poisonous inside. You're just continually losing health, so you need to crush 30 cockroaches as fast as possible. And the cockroaches can spawn all over the place in the restaurant. They come out of the grates and whatnot on the floor. So once you crush your 30 cockroaches, then your boss is like, "Hey, Beavis, I need you to deliver this food to the karate place." And so after you've crushed 30 cockroaches in a fumigated Burger World, your boss gives you food that he made in said cockroach-infested fumigated Burger World, and you have to go to the karate place to give the guy his burgie. So once you get to the karate place and deliver the burgie, Yamagi is basically like, you better not mess with my food or else I'm gonna beat you up. Well, you hand him his food, and as soon as you walk out of the karate place, Todd is there, and Todd is like, get me some oil if you want to see something sweet, if you want to see a sweet burnout. But he's like, I'm gonna hold Beavis captive though as collateral. So then he throws Beavis in the trunk of his car, and you go play as Butthead, and you have to go get the stuff for Todd.
Yeah, all this this delivery duty and this quest for oil, you're basically wandering the rest of the streets that are still available in this overworld, trying to look for money, basically. And then you have to go, of course, to the oil store. It's probably a car shop or whatever it is.
It's a general store, yes.
General store or whatever it is, yeah, to actually get the oil. But there's also a little mini game that you could try in the, what is it? Not in the general store, but in the supermarket, I believe.
Supermarket, yeah.
You can go in there to play a little bit of an Arkanoid clone, which is absolutely horrible because your paddle is Beavis and his hitbox is stupid and the angles don't make any sense and it's super slow and it's horrible, and I'll get back to that later because this is a totally optional thing. You don't have to do this. It will not give you anything. So it's just there to mess with you and probably make you lose money because it does cost a few cents to actually play the game. So it's just a way to make you waste your money while looking for money to get the oil.
True.
But yeah, once you get the oil, I think you have to walk back a little bit.
You have to go back to the karate place.
You have to go back to the karate place because Todd is waiting there. You give Todd his oil for his car. He does a sweet burnout, I guess it is, and then he gets arrested and gets thrown in jail.
Yeah, but he does do a sweet burnout.
Does do a sweet burnout.
So, yeah, so a little bit more on the delivery duties. So when you're delivering, if you go the wrong way, Beavis will be like, wrong way, and then it just tells you can't navigate too far off course.
Yeah, that's right.
When you're doing the quest, when you're trying to get the $2 for oil, this can be a nightmare because you eventually go into the city, which is infested with rats and whatnot, and you can't kill the rats. Well, you can kill the rats, but it's not worth it. They're too squirrely to hit sometimes. So you need to go into the city and you need to get quarters. And the quarters are spread out everywhere. Back alleys, corners of the map, they're all over the place. And once you go into the oil place, you get it right and you go back. But once Todd gets thrown back into jail, you have to make your way back to the city. And this is where it gets a little difficult because like the city is super run down and it's kind of just like, okay, like where do I go? There's this little, like you go back to where you bought the oil, there's this little alley that you have to go up and it takes you to a new section of the city. If you don't know about back alley, like adventuring in a Beavis and Butthead game, like it's just, you would walk past it so many times, and I did it in my blind playthrough. I walked past that alley probably 4 or 5 times trying to find the damn jail.
Same happened to me when I replayed the game. It didn't happen the first time I played it because I actually found the jail way before I found the oil store for some reason. But when I replayed it in preparation for this podcast, I got stuck looking for the jail for like 15 minutes and I had no idea what I was doing wrong.
Yeah, so once you find that little alley to go up, then the jail is like takes up the entire screen basically. And there's a bunch of police officers that as soon as they see you will just start whacking you. If you walk up to the window, a little fun Easter egg, if you walk up to the window, Todd is there in the jail cell, be like, hey, break me out of here, dudes. You know, like trying to be super nice to you. If you don't have to walk up to the window, it's just a little extra thing in the game that the game has. But then you walk into the jail, and the jail is The jail is something else. It's a lot of tight corridors, and it has a lot of enemies in certain areas. And mind you, everything in this game hurts you. There's no friendly unit in this game. Beavis and Butthead don't have friends in the cartoon, and they don't have friends in the video game. So everything is out to hurt you. And when you walk in, the police guards are attacking you and the prisoners are attacking you. It's a very straightforward building to get through, but this is where your adult magazines come into play heavily. Because you run faster and you don't take damage. So when you're in the tight corridors, spitballs and apples only go so far. But you want to use the adult magazines just to blaze through some of the tight corridors because of the amount of damage you would take. Because there are no iframes in this game, which means your life can just get drained immediately. So, once you get there, you have to go to Todd's jail cell, and Todd's gonna be like, hey, you guys need a key to get me out of here. Okay. So, kind of have to do a little bit of backtracking and then go into the main office. And then once you go into the main office, there's a giant key on the floor. You can't miss it. Then you go back to Todd's cell. You unlock the door. Todd says, thanks, but I'm going to beat you up for getting me in trouble with the cops. He beats you up. Beavis Butthead sit on the couch in bandages and watch MTV.
A true good ending to this game. But what else did you expect from a Beavis and Butthead game?
Beavis and Butthead, who can't ever join Todd's gang.
Apparently not, no.
If you ever play Beavis and Butthead, was it Beavis and Butthead Virtual Stupidity? It's an MS-DOS game. It has a very similar story where Beavis and Butthead are trying to join Todd's gang as well. But they actually go to prison. The game gets really messed up really quick too. It's a very fun point and click game on MS-DOS, but Virtual Stupidity is pretty damn fun. Do You is really good too. When Beavis and Butthead try to go to college, Do You is really good as well for MS-DOS. But yeah, no, that's the Game Boy with Beavis and Butthead. The goal was to join Todd's gang, and you broke him out of jail. He beat you up because he got caught burning out because he wanted to show off.
Yeah. Perfect ending.
Perfect ending.
to a perfect game. Well, maybe not a perfect game.
Not a perfect game. It's not bad, but
yeah, this is a really cool game. Like the first time I played it, I had no idea what to expect. I've only ever somewhat tried to play the Genesis game, which is literally impossible without a walkthrough, I believe. But yeah, I immediately liked playing this game.
I remember, because like, I'm very familiar with the Super Nintendo Beavis and Butthead. I've been playing Super Nintendo Beavis and Butthead since I was a kid. And I never, we'll get more into this later, but like I never knew this game existed on Game Boy. I remember the first time I watched you and John Carlos play it, and I was like, this is, I'm like, what kind of Beavis Butthead game is this? Then I immediately tried it, and I was like, oh yeah, okay, this game's awesome. So
yeah, a little rough around the edges, but definitely a very unique Game Boy title. There are not many like this in the library. And if you like Beavis and Butthead, definitely check this one out because you're gonna have a lot of fun with it, for sure.
Yeah. We'll dive into the cover art and trivia real quick before we take our next break. So, cover art. If you have seen a Beavis and Butthead VHS cover, or magazine cover, or CD cover, or anything with Beavis and Butthead on the cover, you have seen the Beavis and Butthead Game Boy cover. It is Beavis and Butthead on the cover with Beavis and Butthead, the yellow logo that they have with MTV on there, created by Mike Judge. It's your very atypical Beavis and Butthead marketing cover.
Yep. Doesn't tell you anything about the game at all, but you only need to know it's Beavis and Butthead, and that's more than enough. So
That's right.
yeah, it's a low effort cover, but marketing wise, it makes sense, I guess.
Low effort, marketing wise, still perfectly fine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trivia. So as I mentioned earlier, this is the 4th Beavis and Butthead installment for a console, and it would be the last release for console as well. The previous installments included Beavis and Butthead getting to Guar with the concert, with the tickets that were either ripped up or lost or whatever the story might have been. Regardless, their whole purpose was to go to the Guar concert, while the Game Boy version was to join Todd's gang. So there's some tidbits there for you.
All right. Yeah, and is trivia maybe? Isn't the show returning very soon? I did read something about that.
Yeah, it's either has returned or about to return. I can't remember, but yeah, we're about to get some new Beavis and Butthead in our life.
Yeah.
I've recently started rewatching it, and oh boy, so
Yeah, I'm not sure if it would work well during this day and age.
it definitely.
For us, it would work, but for newer people, I don't think it would.
It's
some
hard.
of the jokes are a little risque nowadays.
That's true. That's very true.
And that's what I mean. And then you kind of lose the essence of what Beavis and Butthead was about, because it's two stupid teenagers being teenagers, basically.
Yeah, it's literally two dumb teenagers just being dumb teenagers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know. I'm curious to see it. Like, I'll
watch.
I'll watch it, obviously, but
yeah.
The first episode I watched, I was like, probably wouldn't fly in today's world, but you know what? It is what it is.
Yeah, I watched the 2, I guess, pilot episodes that they did before it even got aired, and that was like, oh no, this is not gonna work. Oh no. I laughed, but
I laughed at them.
People nowadays will not. Like, what was it? Frog Baseball is the first one, and then I don't know. They like go to a monster truck, whatever, and the monster truck drives over porter potties, and then a poop god appears and makes poop all. Yeah, I don't know. It was very stupid, but yeah, I don't think it would work now.
In the first episode of Beavis and Butthead, they giggle at everything that's like a sex word. So like, there's one kid's name. It's like Butt something, and Beavis and Butthead just crack up in the back of the class, and the teacher sends them to the office, and they're about to go into, and then they get like this military guy as their teacher, and he's like, if you laugh at this, I'm sending you to the principal's office. And they were talking about penises and vaginas, stuff like that, and Beavis Butthead just like busted out laughing in the back of the classroom. So they get kicked out of school basically for like a couple days, and then they go help Tom Anderson with his lawn and like trimming and whatnot. So instead of like painting his house like a color, they like just graffitied the crap out of his house, and there's like anarchy signs and stuff all over it. And they come back, and he's just like, "You kids look like the guys that, try to paint my house. You guys aren't the same kids, are ya?" And then Butthead's like, no. And so he's like, "All right, if I ever see those kids, this, that, whatever." And he's like, "You guys know how to use this thing, right?" And it's for trimming branches off of trees. And Beavis is like, yeah. So Butthead's like, "Why are we cutting? If we just cut this right here, we just take out all the branches." He's talking about cutting down the tree. So they get the they get the chainsaw out of the shed and cut down the tree. and it crashes onto Tom Anderson's house. And he's like, "You better get out of here before I call the cops." So they take this chainsaw and run away, and they grab the grasshopper. And Beavis has the chainsaw, and Butthead's holding the grasshopper up, being a judge. He's like, "I'll sentence you to death." And Beavis chops off part of Butthead's finger, trying to kill the grasshopper. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. I don't know. Like for people like us, it would still be really funny if they can keep that kind of humor in it. But yeah, I don't know. Like it's very of its time, to be honest. Like yeah, because I think they had a revival in 2010 as well.
Yep.
But that didn't like run very long. So so all right. But yeah, all right. That's all we have to say about the game and some little random tidbits. So let's take another break with another song from the game. And after that, we'll go a little bit over our thoughts and history with the game. Small speedrunning section, because you know more about that, at least. And then we'll go through our outro, our very always prepared outro.
Super prepared outro.
So yeah, sit right back and relax and listen to this song while we take a break. Okay, I'm going to the bathroom real quick.
Have fun.
Yeah.
The soundtrack sucks. It has some like weird background noise. There we go. We pruned the house too. Dude, when they washed the guy's dog too, they walked up. They went to Tom's house again, and because they needed a couple bucks for something. And Tom Anderson goes, "You aren't the kids that chopped down my tree, are you?" And Beavis is like, "No." He's like, "We're here to wash your dog." And he's like, "Well, all right." He's like, "She definitely smells real bad. She puked on herself." So they go and try to figure out how to clean the dog. I mean, they take the dog to the laundromat. And this old lady's there, and she's like, "Can you watch my laundry and make sure no one steals it?" And Butthead's like, "Yeah, sure." So they open up the door and take out all of her laundry and throw the dog in the washer to clean the dog. And then they think it looks like a good time, so they throw themselves into the washer. And they puke on the dog and give it back to Tom Anderson. Oh, Beavis and Butthead. What a good cartoon. This is the... what stage is this? This is, outside of school. This is the playground. Tell you what's weird is going back to like the big episodes, because like our light episodes are like very personalized towards like how we are. Like if you listen to like the Sam Mallard light, it's in a noir style because it's a noir game. And like Mo has its own style too. Like it's weird going from like a bunch of lights where like we have our own like flexibility because we just do it ourselves because it's not both of us. Going into a bigger episode like this where we kind of have like confined rules that we follow so we don't get too far off track.
Yeah, otherwise the episodes take way too long.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one will be a normal length probably.
Yeah. We're only like not even an hour and a half in, so.
Yeah, perfect.
Alright, you good?
Yep.
Alright, that was the sewer stage music. Alright, welcome back everybody. Pull up my notes again here. Alright. Oh, thoughts and history of the game. I'll start with you, Mo, since you probably didn't watch a lot of Beavis and Butthead growing up.
Yeah, indeed. Like, for me at least, I wasn't a regular watcher of MTV at all. So I'm even thinking that back then MTV was a channel we could only get if you had like a special subscription service, even where MTV was part of it. But yeah, I usually just watched, and I had a lot of channels I could watch cartoons on. Like there were the Dutch channels, there were the Belgian channels, French and German channels. So I was just watching cartoons constantly, and of course Beavis and Butthead didn't air on those, but we got our own national music TV channel after a while, called TMF, the Music Factory, and they had their own programming, which was actually music still back then. It was literally just video clips, but they got bought by MTV after a while, and I think then they started airing Beavis and Butthead. But again, I was still not watching that. It was only during the Jackass period that I started watching, well, TMF then, because it had the same shows on it and MTV had, of course. But I do remember that I rented the movie as a kid, because it was just in the cartoon section, and I always like picked up an animated movie. So I'm super sure that I saw that one, because like I remember the scene that Beavis is in the airplane and he's running around as Cornholio in there, if I remember that correctly at least. So that I did see, but yeah, I knew of the existence of Beavis and Butthead, but it wasn't like part of my my growing up at all. So yeah, I never really got into the video games either. I don't even think anybody that I knew had a Beavis and Butthead game at all.
Oh,
so
man.
the first one I played was the Genesis one, because I picked that up like 10 years ago in a yard sale or whatever, and it just came with a console, and I tried that and I was like, oh my god, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I keep on dying, so I didn't really put much effort into it. So yeah, I just played this game for, either I saw John Carlos play it first, but I think I just picked it for portable pleasure at random. And yeah, like I said earlier, I really just immediately enjoyed playing this game because it was such a unique game for a Game Boy. There's not that many top-down games. Like you have Link's Awakening, you have Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and then you have this one, and I think those are the only three top-down adventure games, at least, that there are out there. There's, of course, a lot of RPGs that are top-down, but that's totally not the same. So yeah, I was pleasantly surprised by this game, and I really liked playing it, so this is definitely my favorite Beavis and Butthead game, even though I haven't really played any others, so yeah.
So I grew up heavily in the Beavis and Butthead era. I watched a lot of MTV growing up, which probably explains a lot of things. I loved Beavis and Butthead growing up. I had Beavis and Butthead shirts. I had the games. I had, I think, folders, like the binders. When I went to school, like I had folders for Beavis and Butthead. Like I was very infatuated with Beavis and Butthead. And all my friends were too. All of my entire friend group. It was nonstop. Like if we were doing laughing, it was the Beavis laugh. The amount of cornholios we did on the playground, like we lived and breathed Beavis and Butthead because it hit us like right at that perfect age of like we're just getting into like the preteen teen, like age where like we like stupid, dumb, gross, and like we're laughing at like super immature things. Like we're getting into that age, so it hit us right at the right time. And yeah, I eventually had, I think I might still have them, the VHSs of like all the seasons for Beavis and Butthead. I saw the movie. My friend owned the movie. I had the Super Nintendo game. My friend had my friend had the Genesis game. Yeah, we were just very infatuated with Beavis and Butthead, and yeah, it was just a lot of Beavis and Butthead growing up, honestly.
Yeah.
But as for the games, like I remember playing and beating the Super Nintendo game as a kid. But I remember we played the Genesis game because when we were kids, we always thought like Beavis and Butthead on Super Nintendo is going to be the same as Genesis and vice versa because we were kids. And we play it and like, oh, this is stupid. This is stupid different, and it was just like a lot of that kind of came into play. Like I don't think I ever beat the Genesis version. And I haven't played the Genesis version probably in like 20 years. So I'd be curious to go back to it and see how much of it I remember. But the Super Nintendo one, like I said, I can sit down and beat in about a half hour and be perfectly happy with it. The game I played the Game Gear version semi recently. Oof. That's all I gotta say is oof. The Game Gear version of Beavis and Butthead is rough. It's super, super hard. Because their Beavis and Butthead take up almost the entire screen, and the enemies come off the side of the screen, but not from like the actual edge. They like spawn like 10 pixels into the screen. It's
Right.
tough. It's really hard. But I've played a majority of the Beavis and Butthead MS DOS games as well too. In my adult life. Like I said, Virtual Stupidity is absolutely hilarious and worth a playthrough if you can get your hands on it. Do You is pretty funny as well too, because like I said, it's Beavis and Butthead trying to get like check marks to get into a college, and it's pretty comical. It very much follows the same flow of an episode with the jokes and whatnot. But yeah, no, I mean Beavis. I like I said, even right now, I'm rewatching Beavis and Butthead because A, we were going to do this episode, so I was like, I kind of want to rewatch some of the Beavis and Buttheads. B, I recently just rewatched Do America, which hilarious still to this day, and yeah, C is they're gonna release new Beavis and Butthead stuff, so. And I, even at 34 years old, I'm still a big fan of Beavis and Butthead, so.
Yeah, something to look forward to, hopefully.
Yeah, I better I want some Beavis and Butthead plushies. Someone call Mike Judge and be like, yo, Mike, hook me up with some Beavis and Butthead plushies. I'll put them on the back shelf behind me next to dog meat from Fallout.
I'm sure you can find some somewhere.
Oh, I'm sure. We'll go to wish.com, probably find some there.
Yeah.
All right, so I remember you talked about some retro achievements in this game because I know you actually enjoy doing the retro achievement stuff. So
Yeah, like it. I sometimes just see what they're all about because a lot of them are very stupid like sets that you don't even want to do. But for people who like achievement hunting, this game does have a set, and they're all super simple. It's basically just beat the game. That's the majority of it. But there's of course one achievement, and that goes probably for every achievement list out there for whatever game you can think of. But it just had to have one stupid achievement, and for this game, it's score 5,000 points in the arcade game. So the Arkanoid clone that I talked about earlier. And yeah, like I said, getting 5,000 points in this is, yeah, it hurts. It goes super slow. The point system doesn't really make any sense. It's like if you hit your paddle, which is Beavis, like I said, you get 5 points. If you hit one of the pegs, you get 10 points. And then there's like this weird thing in the middle that blocks your shots. If you hit that, you get 50 points. But it's super, super slow at the start. And near the end, because the blocks keep moving further and further to the right. Oh yeah, it's it's horizontal Arkanoids, so it's not even vertical.
It's not vertical Arkanoid.
Yeah, but yeah, the pegs keep move. Once you clear all the pegs, they just move 1 pixel to the right, and after a while, it gets so close to you that it almost gets impossible to move Beavis in time, because he moves actually super slow, and depending on how the ball hits Beavis, it can either go super speed or it can go super slow. I don't even know how it works.
If Beavis hip checks it, it goes crazy fast. But if Beavis like kicks it, it's slow. And if Beavis headbutts it, it's like in between.
Yeah, it's a really, really weird thing to play. And I tried for about an hour. I got to 4,000 something points. And yeah, I then I lost. So it wasn't fun. I gave up eventually because it's just such a bad mini game. But yeah, if you want to go for it, or for the other achievements, the rest is literally beat the game, but that one is like the dumb one in there.
Yeah, I used to do a lot of the retro achievement stuff. The last one I did was Trip World, and that one was weird because it was like, do all these power ups. I'm like, Trip World has more than one power up. I always speed ran it, so and I was like, oh man, I had to use like brain juice to actually do that achievement. But then I went to go do Shaq Foods retro achievement one, and Shaq Foods retro achievement one is stupid. Because you have to play the game as every character, and I'm like, nah. So I was like, nah. But speedrun segment, I had the privilege and the honor to showcase Beavis Butthead Game Boy at RGL Love 2022 this year. And I learned the game specifically for RG Love as well. Because I wanted to showcase this game, because this game is not well known to the world. Beavis and Butthead is well known. Beavis Butthead Genesis and Super Nintendo is well known. But Beavis Butthead Game Boy is not well known. So I really wanted to showcase this game. So I learned the best that I could to get this up and running for RG Love, and it came out alright. I'm not last in the leaderboard. Let's just say that. But this game, the world record for this game, there's actually multiple categories for this game now, because we did find some tech where we can glitch out pieces of the game, which I won't talk about because I actually have no idea how all of that actually works still, because I haven't dove into that piece of the category. But we have something called 80% glitchless, which is literally just playing the game. The name of the game for this is literally just knowing where the tennis balls are and where the quarters are. Because if you don't know where those two things are, that's your biggest time sink. The quarters and the tennis, everything in this game is static. So every time you reset the game and start it up, the only thing that's RNG is the sick note at the start of the game. That is the only thing that is RNG. So if you get a bad sick note seed, then you might want to reset and get a new. But it doesn't really matter. But Everything else is static. Where all the tennis balls are, where all the quarters are, all of that is static. So the name of the game is knowing the path of collecting the 10 tennis balls and the $2 worth of quarters. That is where it comes down to. So it's a lot of movement. It's a lot of movement tech. There's not so much menu teching in this game, because the only time you're on menu tech is to get the magazines out for the jail sequence, because you want to collect as many magazines as you can too along the way. You don't want to go super out of the way to collect them, but you want to collect them as you kind of see them. Because when you get into the jail cell, you basically just chain adult magazines to get through it. So, and then the coffees, you get the coffees along the way too, because you play as Beavis in the town. And you use the coffees on straightaways to basically get out of the town as fast as possible. But that's basically the 80% glitchless. It's a very easy speedrun to get into. It's just memorizing where the tennis balls and the quarters are. That's literally all it is. It's a very easy speedrun to get into. Now the any percent, so the any percent glitchless world record is held by Dirtepic with 23 minutes and 7 seconds. I have a time of 39 minutes. It actually might be shorter now. I don't remember. But the any percent, which is glitched, is 20 minutes and 59 seconds. So, and this glitch lets you break through walls. So, like, there's certain pieces of the game where you can actually glitch through a wall to kind of quote unquote sequence break a certain area. I don't, like I said, I haven't dove into that category yet. Only Dirtepic is the only runner for that category. I would have to watch the run to see how to even do it, because, like I said, I haven't dove into that category at all yet.
Yeah.
But this is a fairly new leaderboard. It was put up a year ago, so it's a fairly fresh leaderboard in comparison to a lot of other Game Boy games out there. And it's a very the barrier to entry is very easy. You don't have to know any glitches at all. You just have to know where tennis balls and quarters are. So, yeah, that's the speedrun segment.
Alrighty.
Because, we're a heavy speedrun podcast.
Definitely.
We're not gonna break. We're gonna go right into everything. Heck it.
Yeah, of course. Would be a dumb break to do. Yeah,
dumb break. We don't like dumb breaks around here. All right. Community events related to Game Boy coming up. Probably the closest one coming up right now is Power Up with Pride 2022, coming June 10th through June 12th. A couple games to look out for is Metal Gear Solid Ghost Babel and Castlevania Legends. Arguably, I personally like Castlevania Legends. Not my favorite, second favorite of the 3 Game Boy Castlevanias. Belmont's Revenge will always be my favorite Castlevania on Game Boy.
Yeah.
But Castlevania Legends is pretty damn good, but somehow people just, they don't vibe with it. I don't get it. It's a good game, but to each their own.
It's weird.
To each their own. Summer Games Done Quick 2022, June 26th, July 3rd. No one cares because there's not a single Game Boy game in it.
Unbelievable.
There is not a single Game Boy game in SGDQ this year. I was so miffed when I saw the game list. I was so mad. I was like, you had a ton of Game Boy games to select from, and you chose none of them.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
It's getting worse every year. Or every edition, I guess.
Oh, it's so mad.
Yeah, they just don't like Game Boy there for whatever reason. I don't know.
Upsetting. Midwest Speedfest, I think, has something coming up too, and I can't remember. Do you think I would know the Midwest Speedfest stuff since I'm actually friends with them, and like I partook in that stuff? And okay, yeah, here we go. Midwest Speedfest 2022 submissions are currently open. This is an on-site marathon. We are not taking remote submissions for this marathon right now. This is taking place in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And it's part of the 2D Con 2022 Simulation Convention, August 26th through the 28th. Submissions are open for the next 13 days. So, if you are in the States, somewhere in the Midwest, probably in the Minnesota, Iowa, Wisconsin, Dakota region, and want to come out and hang out in person into a fun little niche speedrunning crew, please do so. It's actually a really cool time. I've been to a couple Midwest Speed Fests in my time. They're usually held at the same hotel as the GDQs as well. Super fun, honestly. And they get your games up, so they get their games set up faster than GDQ as well. So take that. I might just talk smack about GDQ for not having a Game Boy game in now. So, I have other reasons too, but that's for a different time and a different channel. I have my thoughts. Just leave it at that. Listener questions. Do we have any listener questions? Both in chat, RGL chat. Do you have any questions? And do we have any on Discord?
We do not have any in Discord. So we'll see if we get some questions in from the chat or not. Otherwise, we will just move on.
Do frog baseball. Frog baseball is so good.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Frog baseball is so good. We used to have a handheld marathon called Handheld Heroes that Slashfinity, Atros, and myself ran for 2 or 3 years. And it got to the point where Atros moved, Slash got super busy, then I got super busy. And that was basically the end of Handheld Heroes because we just didn't have time to do it anymore. Plus, like, we were doing it on speed gaming as well, too. It's like we were doing it on speed gaming, and I love Feasel. Feasel is one of my favorite people of all time. But the problem with speed game is that they have so much stuff all the time happening, hence why they have 42 different channels. So it was hard to find time. It was hard to find like a scheduling fit, plus getting volunteers to work their system. Yada yada yada. You know how it is if you have ever ran a marathon. So like that also came into play as well too. Then we just thought about like, hey, we should just do it. We should just make our own channel and do it. Then we were like, well, how are we gonna get viewers to our channel? Right? We're like, we're gonna get 10 views on our new channel because no one wants to watch handheld games. So it was just a lot of figuring stuff out, and like I said, like it got to the point where we just get too busy to figure things out completely, and basically that was the end of Handheld Heroes. It was fun while it lasted. I had a blast with it. That's where I got to I got to showcase Shaq Fu Game Boy there for the first time ever. So.
Oh no. But yeah, maybe like in the foreseeable future, we can make something happen on RGL. I don't know.
Maybe
it all depends on people being interested in doing something, but yeah, we could always like look into it.
Yeah, we could. Yeah. Plus, I mean, we got the Tiny 10 coming up in a couple months, so
that's true. Yes.
Oh god, that we haven't even started thinking about yet.
That is fine. That's November anyway, so that's plenty of time.
Well, we gotta get the game list out in October, and we don't even have a game list even started yet. So. Yeah.
Plenty of time.
Plenty of time.
Alright, so yeah, no listener questions, so that's fine. So we will move on to our outro, and then Lex will be happy that it's not too big of an episode to edit as well. So,
do you want to do the outro? I always do the outro. Do you want to do the outro?
I am...
You're fresh at it. You just got done doing a light.
That's true. That's true. Let me first pull up this so I can.
Let me get everything ready for the outro. How do you not have this memorized? I have it memorized.
I don't memorize anything.
That's why it
I
changes every time we do it.
Yeah, I just go with the flow that sometimes doesn't even exist, at least not when I'm doing lies. But yeah, anyways, if anybody has any thoughts or suggestions for us, me, BC, or even Lex, maybe if Lex is doing something wrong that you want to see improved in the future, you can always contact us through very different means. You can just comment, of course, on our SoundCloud account underneath the episodes themselves. You can find us on YouTube. Sadly, we do not have a custom URL yet. We need quite a few more subscribers for that. I think we're at like 30 or something. But yeah, that place is also where you can rewatch these live episodes, by the way, so definitely go take a look at that. But you can also find us on our socials, and for me those are Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, and Instagram, all /Moelle, which is MoElleuh. Or you can, of course, find us on the RGL Discord as well. Or you can find us in our own Discord. EBC, where can they find you exactly?
Oh man, you can find me all over the place, honestly. eBloodyCandy on Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. I think that's all the social media out there nowadays, so pretty much
Right.
eBloodyCandy in any social media app, you'll probably find my dumb face, so
Yeah, that's the easiest thing to do for sure. You can find our amazing producer Lex on Twitch as SprintingLegs, on Twitter as SprintingLegs, on YouTube as Lex, and also through her own website SprintingLegs.com, which houses all of her projects, including the Game Boy manual database. Where, as always, if you have any Game Boy manuals to contribute, and you have the ability to scan them and send them in, there is a way to do that through the website. Would be very much appreciated because we are always looking for new entries there. Either way, you can find all of this information and all the links to these social media platforms and things like that on our own website. This is gameboy.com. That's probably the easiest way to go. If you want to support the podcast, you can do that by just liking or starring or rating the episodes on whatever service you use to listen to these episodes. You can also just tell your friends, family, enemies even about the podcast so they start listening as well. That's the easiest way to support us. But we also gladly take your money if you want to give that to us. There's a few ways you can do that. First of all, we have our Patreon. Just patreon.com/this is Game Boy. I think that's it, right? Yep. This is Game Boy. So yeah, that if you don't know Patreon, that's like a monthly subscription-based service where you can pledge to us either for $1 or $5 or any amount you like, but we only have 2 tiers. That will grant you access to some special things that only patrons can access, like special channels in the Discord where you can find bloopers and things like that. I think we also sometimes post like compilations that Legs does with some cut content and things like that. They don't make sense if you listen to them, but it's just funny to listen to. You can also get some access to our episode notes if you want to go over those. If you look at the first ones, they are a complete mess, but luckily we made those a lot better pretty quickly, actually, as soon as I made a template, basically. You also get early access to the other thing that me and EBC do when we can. That is not like a monthly or weekly or whatever thing. It's literally when we can. You get early access to our Let's Play episodes of Hunt Hunters, where we play some horror-inspired games. They're not that scary, but they're just fun to see us suffer through them. So definitely check that out. And they're also available on eBloodyCandy's YouTube after a month for non-patrons. So they will get released to the public, but patrons get some early access to that. If Patreon is not your thing because you already pay Netflix every month, you pay your IP every month, you pay 3 different OnlyFans pages every month. We also just have a PayPal account where you can do like a one-time donation. You can find the link for that also on thisisgameboy.com, but it's just paypal.me/thisisgameboy. We do want to give you some benefits if you do donate through PayPal. So if you are in our Discord, link also available on our website, just let us know when you do the donation what your username or screen name is on Discord, and then we can always hook you up with something as well, because there's no integration between Discord and PayPal. So yeah, if you want something back for your money while also supporting us, we do have a merch store, which is just merch.thisisgameboy.com. It will take you to the right page where you can buy a shirt with our logo on it, available in 3 different colors, dark green, dark gray, and light gray. And it comes in all sizes that you can imagine. And also the shop is based in the US and the EU, so wherever you buy it from, you will not have to suffer with some customs BS or whatever else. It will be shipped from near you. We also have a mug available with a logo on it. That's all. Maybe because this is our 100th episode, maybe it would be cool that I just put a limited edition shirt back on for a month or something, because our 4-year anniversary is also coming up. So yeah, you can maybe even get the limited edition shirt, which has a little Game Boy cartridge on it as well. Maybe I'll open that up again. And I'm also making a new shirt, so maybe by the time this episode airs, that one will be done. So definitely check that out if you want something like that. And yeah, I think that's all the sellout stuff that we do. So yeah, that's pretty much it, I guess.
Well, perfect. See, you knocked it out of the park.
Sure.
Next episode. I don't even know I don't even know who chose this game.
I think I gave you 2 options and you picked this one, or you gave me 2 options and I picked this one. Either way, it was your pick.
So that's next.
Say it like that. So the next one will be mine, and I'm gonna kind of stick with the same quote unquote team for what we have been doing, but let's do Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 Back from the Sewers, to stay in the same vein, because it's been a while since we've done the first game, and soon, maybe probably like in the same period that episode will come out, Shredder's Revenge will be available, and the Cowabunga collection will be available. So it would be cool to just talk about turtles, and yeah, I just love turtles, so I always like to talk about them.
All right, Turtles 2 for the Game Boy.
Yeah.
Better than Turtles 1, but not as good as Turtles 3. Although, which cannot be said about the videos. Turtles 1, by far the best Turtles movie. Turtles 3, by far the worst Turtles movie.
But still better than the remake. Well, not the remakes, the reboots movie. So
I never seen any of the reboots.
Well, be glad. Just be glad.
I haven't watched a new Turtles movie. The last Turtles movie I watched was it was a cartoon one. I can't remember.
Yeah,
Now. There's like the newer style cartoon one. I can't remember the name of it now.
It's the one where they beat the old and the new meet up, but I don't remember the name.
I can't remember the name of it. That was the last
and then
Turtles one I watched.
Then there's like a 3D-ish CGI one cartoon.
That one looks weird. That one looks weird. The turtles look weird, and I don't like it.
Yeah. But if you want to see a good one, though, Batman vs. TMNT, awesome animated movie.
Batman vs. TMNT. Who wins?
You'll see.
No one. Gotcha.
Okay. Well, that wraps it up for Beavis and Butthead, our 100th official episode between normal and light ones. Thanks everybody for hanging out in chat. Thanks everybody who's listening to it now, so not live. And we'll see you again next time for Teenage Mutant Ninja or Hero Turtles, depending where you're from, 2 Back from the Sewers. See you all later.
Ta-ta!